Hello. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Sports Performance and Mindset Reset. And today we're doing cardio. Part of the reason is because I think we all need a little bit of body weight today. I know I'm tired, and I preach this all the time. We got to listen to our bodies, got to do what works best for us that day. Sometimes we really want to push, and sometimes our body says, no, thank you. And you know what? We got to listen, because we do that, we add more stress to our body and we dig ourselves into a recovery hole. So yes, I'm doing group exercise, I'm teaching movement, but I definitely stress recovery because we got to recover from what we're doing day to day. So gonna do cardio today. We're gonna do 3 rounds, but we're gonna do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, do that 2 times, and then move on to the next one. So we're gonna go through that 3 times, and I'll get started with the demos here today. So starting off here, we're gonna do a triple switch into a single leg Romanian deadlift. And this can be done as a kickstand or as a full single leg RDL. I likely am going to do kickstands today because last time I did these in a class, I honestly really tweaked my hamstring pretty bad. So I'm not going to do that today. So what we're going to do is we're going to have that knee up nice and tall, 90-degree angles here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then sink into the hips, push your hips back, close the door, stop when our hips stop, and then come back, and then 1, 2, 3. Same thing coming out and back in. So if we are not doing a full single leg RDL, we are then just planting that foot on the toe, push hips back, just use one leg, and then 1, 2, 3, place down and push away. So that's going to be our first movement there. Whew, that one didn't feel so good. All right. So after that, we're going to go ahead and do skips. So similar but different than what we just did. So here, opposite arm, opposite leg, we're going to double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. So getting slightly off the ground. We don't have to be super high off the ground, but that's what we're going to be doing there. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do some lateral bounds. So I love these to help working on our lateral push-off strength, which can help with strengthening our knee joints and also preventing anything like an ACL tear. So for this, we're going to sink into our hips. So I say that when I say sink in, we're going to push the hips back, slightly bend the knee like we're pulling a rubber band. And then we're going to release, let go, and land. Try to keep that balance. So we're jumping off, landing nice and soft. So finding a distance that works for you and then kind of grow upon that each round. And then after that, we're just going to do marches. So same as the skips, but we're driving those feet into the ground. We're punching the ground away. So this is actually a really good way to practice running mechanics, because that's what we look like here. And also when you run, you want to push off in that same spot that you right underneath your body, not out in front. So this will help with running mechanics and strength. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and do a 2-inch run in place. So slight bend in the knees, hips are slightly back, feet are hip width apart, and we're alternating on the feet, quick feet, slow arms. This is as fast as my feet are going today. Again, harping on recovery, but that's where we're at. So that's going to be our whole circuit for today. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our warm up. We're going to go ahead and do the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to come to the top of our space. We're going to interlace our fingers, grab onto the left knee, pull the left knee towards the chest. And we're going to exhale, step back into our reverse lunge, hands on the inside of the front foot. Nice big deep breath. And we're exhaling, opening up towards that front leg, gazing past the thumb, back leg is still straight. And we're going to exhale, plant the hand outside of the front foot, push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. And then we're going to go ahead and exhale and bring our feet together and stand on up. All right, same thing on the other side. So interlace the fingers, grab onto the left knee. And we're going to exhale, step back, reverse lunge, hands on the inside of our front foot. Keep that back leg nice and straight. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards our front leg, gazing past the thumb. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, plant the hand outside of our front foot, Push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. And we're gonna go ahead and exhale and bring our feet together and stand on up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and lay on the ground for this next one on our backs. And we're gonna do a little bit of a hamstring release, getting ready for all the leg stuff we got going on. So we're gonna do bent knee hamstring stretch. So squeeze the quad here, drive that heel towards the ceiling, keep that quad squeezed and release. So by squeezing the quad, we're gonna open up those hamstrings a little bit more. Sometimes we don't necessarily want to stretch the hamstrings, we just need to release them. So it's gonna release. So we're gonna do this a couple times, squeezing the quad all the way up and back down. And we got one more squeeze the quad coming up. And then exhale and release down. And we're gonna switch sides. So coming on the opposite leg, interlace the fingers behind the knee, flex the foot, squeeze the quad, drive the heel towards the ceiling, and release. And drive that heel, stretching it towards the ceiling as we squeeze the quad. That quad squeeze is the most important part here. And we're gonna do two more. And last one. And we can go ahead and release and make our way onto our feet because we are ready to rock and roll. So, like I said, 3 rounds, we're gonna do 20, 10, 20, 10, and then move on to the next one. Starting with our triple switch into our single leg RDL. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we got basically like a march and a skip in one. So we're switching 1, 2, 3. And then again, either straightening that leg or placing the foot on the toe, push the hips back. Really important to sink into our hips. 3, 2, 1. My legs feel like bricks. So excuse me for the slowness of my movement today. 3, 2, 1. Which I think is always really important to also, again, I always preach recovery. If you're not feeling very good right now, you know, definitely listen to your body, do what you can, push yourself, but not so much where you're gonna be hurting. 3, 2, and 1. All right, next up we have skips, and we're gonna do 3, 2, 1. So opposite arm, opposite leg, double tapping at the top. So it's gonna help build up the strength for jumping, which is really great for pretty much all sports, right? You gotta jump at some point. So this is really good for jumping, keeping also that core strength going. 3, 2, and 1. It helps core strength, helps the legs, and that explosiveness. So the skips is different purpose than the march, but they're very similar. 3, 2, 1. So skipping again, really pushing through the ground, staying on those toes, double tap, double tap. This also gets the heart rate up, but is really good for building those mechanics, also for running. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Next up, we're going to do our lateral bound. So we're going to sink into the hip, pull the rubber band. 3, 2, 1. So sinking into the hip, push the hips back, slight bend of the knee. So we're getting ready here, pushing through that whole foot, landing nice and soft, gathering ourselves just as like we are going to start. So we're here, we land in our same position that we start in. 3, 2, 1. These are not really working out for my legs today. That's what. 3, 2, 1. So sink into the hip, leap, land nice and soft, keeping that core tight, pushing through the heel, big toe, little toe. We want to feel that in the glutes. Sink into those hips, keep that back leg off the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. Now we're gonna march. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Really get that leg out in front. 3, 2, 1. So like I was saying in the demos, we really want to be powerful here. Punch, punch, punch. That's what I want us to think. We're driving those knees. Like I said, this is great for running because Running is all about how we drive the knee up, not about how we push off the ground. 3, 2, 1, which obviously running is prevalent in almost all sports, but we have 5K coming up. I know a lot of races are happening, so it's going to help with all of that too. 3, 2, 1. Also, I know runners, like running, it's a very low barrier to entry, but it's very easy to, injure yourself or not feel so good when you're running. So this is really good to help with that running mechanics. And like I said, when we run, we want to plant and push off directly under us, not out in front. That's how you get, all right, we're done. But that's how you put pressure on your knee joints and your shins too. All right, 2-inch bends in place. 3, 2, 1. So slight bend in the knee and in the hips, pushing those hips back. So we're sinking into our hips just like we do for our other ones. Slow arms, quick feet. I want us to be like ducks on water. And what I mean by that is when you look at a duck, 3, 2, 1. When you look at a duck on top of the water, it doesn't look like they're doing anything, but under the water, they're like swimming real quick. 3, 2, 1. So that's why I want like the upper body, like from my logo up, it doesn't look like I'm doing it, right? But logo down, we're working, we're moving, and we're being nice and quick. Keep breathing here. 3, 2, 1. All right, round 1 is done. Coming up with round 2. Triple switch, RDL. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. And again, if you're doing a full single leg RDL, extend that leg out as far as you can. We're sinking into that hip. Push the ground away. 3, 2, 1. All right. So just like with anything, we sink into the hip and then push back. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Like when we sink into our hip, it allows us to get the most out of the movement with the muscles we want, takes the low back out of it, but it also gets us ready for that power movement that we need for sports. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have skips. So we're gonna double tap opposite arm, opposite leg. 3, 2, 1. So it's definitely really good too with getting the arms involved. So that's gonna help with that, like when you run, this is kind of like how you run anyways with your arms. So we want those arms to be nice and straight, hammering down. So like if you have glass behind you, you break that glass with your pinkies. 3, 2, 1. Because I see this pretty often too, where people run more like this. We want to be nice and straight. 3, 2, 1. The other thing I like to remember, especially with running, is you want to bring your hand pretty much up to your face, right? So we're here, coming down, bring those arms all the way up. So the arms are going to help the legs with this. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have lateral bounds going side to side. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So we sink into the hip, explode, land nice and soft. If you need to take a second in this position without touching that toe to the ground and go, definitely do that. We don't need to be fast. We can take our time. But what happens if you notice on that one when I didn't have my balance? 3, 2, 1. When we land nice and straight, we're going to come back a little bit more. We're using our back there as well. We want to keep that pelvis sucked. 3, 2, 1. So if you land upright, that's not the position we want. We want to land soft but gather ourselves. So that chest should be over the arch of the front foot, just like we were doing lunges or curtsy lunges. Sink into that hip. 3, 2, 1. My balance is terrible today. It's because I can't feel my hamstrings. All right, we got marches. 3, 2, 1. I think it's just a week of not so great recovery for me. I got to teach more classes this week. Got to teach more classes next week. So bear with me here while my body tries to hold up with all of this. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, I just want to keep it real with y'all. If you're like watching this, you're like, what's wrong with her legs? That's what's wrong. 3, 2, 1. So again, punch the ground. I want you to think punch, punch, like we're really just being quick with those feet. We don't necessarily need to stomp, but we want to be nice and quick where that, like we're punching the ground away and then driving those knees up. 3, 2, 1. All right. And now we have 2-inch runs in place. 3, 2, 1. So sinking into those hips. Quick feet, slow arms. Here we go. I guess be as quick as you can, but the higher you pick your feet up and the more you're doing this, we don't want to be moving any of this. Like I said, logo up, nice and steady. 3, 2, 1. So logo up, steady, logo down, quick. Just like ducks on water. 3, 2, 1. So keep that core nice and tight. To keep that chest in place, what helps is squeeze that orange or crack that egg right in between the shoulder blades. So if you notice here, like my chest is upright because my back is nice and flat. We're not here, we're not here. 3, 2, 1. All right, the last round coming up, and then we'll go ahead and reset our mind and body. 3, 2, 1. A triple switch into our RDL. So push the hips back, drive that heel in the ground. The more the heel is pushing through the ground, the more we're gonna feel it in the glutes. 3, 2, 1. My legs are not doing that anymore. All right. So great day to be my hamstrings. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Sink into those hips, but squeeze the glutes. We don't even need to squeeze the glutes if we just push the heel into the ground. Without though, we want to push the heel in the ground. We do not want those toes to come up. Whole foot on the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right, skips. We have skips. 3, 2, 1. So we're double tapping. Or so even, I mean, my feet aren't really leaving the ground right now, but still trying to double tap as much as we can. I'm gonna walk it out real quick. We're double tapping, getting those knees up, keeping that core nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more round of that. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that core tight, just like with any other movement. I always say we want to zip that core up, bring the toe is coming, because if we have a string tied to the zipper, we zip the core up and that leg comes with it. So we shouldn't really be feeling that in the hips. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next up we have lateral bounds. So we're gonna side to side. 3, 2, 1. So like I said to this one, it's really great for strengthening. It also helps us work on landing mechanics, right? Because we're here, we got to jump and land nice and soft. So it's like we're sinking into that hip again, which can help with running, right? Sinking into the hip, making sure we're landing softly. 3, 2, 1. So it's not only our push off and jumping mechanics, but also the landing mechanics, which I find often neglected. 3, 2, 1, which obviously we need for sports, right? For most sports, again, we're jumping, we're getting that jumping mechanics and stuff, but we also need to learn how to land properly, but also push off for lateral movements. Like I said, like the ACL, like a lot of lateral movement, if the knees aren't strong enough, that's how they tear. 3, 2, 1. So this will kind of help just strengthen those legs to kind of help prevent injury there. All right, we're gonna march. 3, 2, 1. So we got marches, and then we're gonna do our runs in place. And then we'll go ahead and cool down and reset our minds. 3, 2, 1. All right. So for the mindset reset, we're gonna be on the ground on our backs. So we'll have a chance to rest real quick and get on the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. Here, marching again, using those arms, using our legs, staying nice and tall. We still got that, the orange squeeze here, but our pelvis is also tucked so the core is engaged. Because if you notice, right, I'm standing nice and tall. We're not here, we're not here. 3, 2, 1. All right. 2-inch runs in place. Last thing for today. 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, that's like the third time I've scratched my shoes like that. So I apologize for the noise. I didn't really know these shoes did that. So that is my bad. So I apologize for that noise. Move those legs as fast as we can. 3, 2, 1. My legs are just, they said no thank you when we woke up this morning. So apologize for that. 3, 2, 1. My mind says yes, my body says no. And sometimes, right, it's that battle between the mind and the body, because usually our body can go more than our mind can. But right now, mentally, I'm all here. I want to push. Physically, my body's fighting me here. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. We're going to go ahead and be on the ground for our cool down in the mindset reset portion. So on the ground here, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the piriformis stretch, our figure 4, and that's going to help open up the back, the glutes, the hamstrings as well. So on our backs here, starting with the left foot on the ground, right ankle on top of the knee, on the left knee. And if that feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need more tension, interlace those fingers, grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and pull towards the chest. And I just want us to close our eyes. We're slowing the breath down. In through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Making those exhales longer than the inhales is going to help calm our bodies down and our mind and our heart rate and get ready for digestion and breakfast and all that good stuff. But while we are here, I want us to just take a mental note of how our body feels. So we talked about recovery a few times today. And while we're here, we're just going to take a little like checklist, right? Just make notes. What feels tight? We can do a full body scan. What feels tight? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? What do we need to work on? You know, for me, I can say like right now in this, my hamstring is just not feeling good. Neither of them are. And for that, it's like, okay, well, now I know that. So let me add some stretches, mobility work, all of that into my day today, or when I get home from work, and can kind of start to do, you know, those recovery things for the body. We'll do one more breath. And on the exhale, we can gently release that foot back to the ground. And then we'll go ahead and do the other leg. So right foot on the ground, left ankle above the right knee. If that feels good, stay there. If you need a little bit more attention, interlace those fingers, grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and pull towards the chest. So as we're here on this side, make a mental note. What feels different on this side than the last side? Really pay attention to the cues that our body is giving us, whether that's tight hips, tight hamstrings, our back. And then maybe think of a few things we can do to kind of support those pain points, or to support our recovery and our healing. There's quite a few things we can all do to help our bodies recover. One of them being getting outside, getting some walks, some light movement to get the blood flow going. We can stretch, mobility work, foam rolling, using trigger point release. We can meditate. We can take Epsom salt baths, yoga. There's so many good things we can do. We're gonna do one more breath here. And then we can go ahead and exhale and release out when we're ready. And then we'll go ahead and straighten those legs, and we're gonna lay here a little bit and continue to kind of reset a little bit. So we'll take, I like to do the left hand over the heart, right hand on the belly. We want that right hand to raise above the left one when we inhale. And then just exhaling. I want us to just fully relax. So let's go ahead. We're gonna do a body scan here. And what I like to do sometimes too is like if we focus on like the body, right? We can imagine our muscles releasing, our muscles relaxing, and just kind of go through each area of the body, relaxing it. When our body is relaxed, our mind is relaxed. And this is something I've actually learned from acupuncture. So I do go to acupuncture every week and I love it. So if you need a recommendation and you're in the Marin area, please let me know. And I'm more than happy to share her information because she's wonderful. And what, acupuncture does is there are, needles in certain areas of the body that help promote, relaxation, energizing, and it promotes a lot of benefits. But what happens in that session, right, is I'm sure you all have heard like, oh, like after I feel so I feel so relaxed and all of that. And what happens is our body relaxes with those needles and those points, and then the mind follows. So just like where the mind goes, the body follows. Sometimes where the body goes, the mind will follow as well. So by focusing on the body, we can then help our mind reset and relax. So we're breathing through the nose into the belly, making those exhales through the mouth longer than the inhales. And we're doing a body scan. So starting at the top of your head, how is your head feeling? How's your brain feeling? Scanning to your eyeballs, your nose, your mouth, your throat. How does that air feel when you breathe it in? Bringing awareness to all of that. And then into the neck. Do you feel any tension in the neck? And if you feel tension in any of these areas, sigh away, picture those muscles relaxing, picture the stress leaving the body, and let that body further sink into the ground with each exhale. So we have the neck, the shoulders, our back, our spine, even our stomach, our heart, our organs. How are they all feeling? Breathe the tension away from our internal organs. Making our way down the hips, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, what feels tight. Sigh away the tension, the stress, sink into the ground. Moving down to our quads, our calves, our shins, our bones, our feet. Just imagine all of that negative energy, all of the tightness, all the tension is just going to flow through. So as we exhale, just picture it leave the body, whether that's, pushing it out to the feet, whether it's pushing it out through the head or the neck, whatever feels right for you. So imagine it releasing. I'm going to do one more deep breath. One final sigh. And from here, when we're ready, we can gently start to wake the body up. So wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, move your head back and forward. And feel free to stay laying on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and gently come to my side and return to a, seated kneeling position. But again, you can do whatever feels good for you. So thank y'all for joining me today. We do have no classes next Friday, so make a note of that. We are going to be closed next Friday as well as the following Monday, Memorial Day weekend. So we're gonna have a nice long 4-day weekend. So I hope everyone gets outside. We do have Design to Run happening this week, so please reach out if you have any questions. Today's day 1 of the virtual race. You can still register for that through next Friday, and then last day to register for in-person is today. So let me know if you have any questions. Great job. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see y'all soon.